Welcome to the next video in evolution topic. This video will be looking at 2 dot points from the Evolution of Australian Biota syllabus 8.5.43, explain the need to maintain biodiversity, and 8.5.4c, process information to discuss a current effort to monitor biodiversity. So firstly, what is biodiversity and why is it important? So if we break down the word biodiversity, bio obviously refers to living things and diversity refers to the variety of. So therefore, biodiversity refers to the variety of living things, not just on Earth, but also in particular ecosystems, in countries, in particular areas, basically the number of different types of organisms that live in a particular place. So we're discovering that even within a species, if it is genetically diverse and therefore more varied, it is more likely to withstand changes such as a new disease as a result of being able to change through the process of natural selection. So the more biodiverse each ecosystem is, the more resilient it is to any particular type of change. So whether the area dries out, whether it becomes hotter, whether we have a massive ice age again, all of those changes, if there's more variation within a population, then obviously they're going to have a greater chance of survival. So the greater variety of ecosystems, the greater the ability of the natural environment to withstand global changes. Not only is biodiversity important for the maintenance of the natural environment, it is also important for human resources. By eliminating species, we are losing potential resources, medicines, and so on. So as we know, we use animals for food, we use plants to build our houses, we use plants for medication and things. So without having this biodiversity, we could lead to a greater loss of these human resources as well. So biodiversity in Australia. So Australia has lost 30 million of the estimated 60 million trees that grew before European settlement and about 70 billion tonnes of topsoil. So until the 1780s, Australian soil had only been trod on by soft-footed animals. So with European settlement came hard-hoofed animals. As we know, the Europeans brought over with them on their boats sheep, goats, pigs, camels, and deer, which weren't around before the Europeans came, and all of these further damaged the soil. We have more chance to avoid devastation of Australia's flora and fauna by better management if we understand the biodiversity that exists within our country. The Australian Wildlife Conservatory is a non-government organisation who works towards maintaining Australia's biodiversity. They survey and monitor several ecosystems throughout Australia and provide an inventory of the species present and therefore the biodiversity in a range of these ecosystems. This regular monitoring provides important information about the changes occurring in ecosystems and therefore changes to Australia's biodiversity, as well as the impact that these changes are having on the surrounding environments. By closely monitoring each ecosystem, the AWC aims to protect Australia's threatened or endangered species. So let's have a look at 2 current efforts because we need to be able to do some secondary source investigations on this. So one particular species that is being monitored is the corroboree frogs. So there are 2 different species of the corroboree frog, the southern and the northern corroboree frogs. The southern corroboree frog is on the endangered list of threatened fauna. The population of the southern corroboree frog has been monitored since 1986, with annual visits by ecologists to 23 known habitats of this species. So by constantly visiting and counting the numbers of these frogs in a particular area, the ecologists are able to keep an eye on the populations and work out what changes are affecting them more than others. Another one that we're very familiar with is the Tasmanian devil. Populations of Tasmanian devils have been monitored for over a decade now. With the increasing number of deaths due to the facial tumour disease, every effort is being put into monitoring the decline of the Tasmanian devils in order to avoid the species becoming extinct. As a result of the information gathered during the biodiversity or the monitoring schemes, Taronga Zoo has developed a breeding program in order to produce genetically suitable animals that are able to be released into the wild with the hope of being able to repopulate so the species does not become extinct. And that brings us to the end of this video, so thank you for watching.